so he's like, please help. I'm like, Nazvadanya, Coraline, because I didn't understand what he said. And, oh, hey, guys, are we doing a show? We'll get back to that later. Silly. The madness of mind is what ladies and gentlemen, I have perfect pitch. Welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan Sartoris, and welcome back to Full Circus. I know I said it twice, but the show is so nice that I didn't name it twice, but I will say it as many times as I have to let you know that you are, one, welcome, and two, that I'm happy to be here with you guys today. Now let's run it back for the rewind. And address the elephant in the room, nay, the entire zoo at this point, because we just keep on going. There's another one, there's another one, there's another one. You see it, you know it, you feel it, you smell it, gross. The same situation in that it's late, we're going to rush through this, because, right? What more can I say? But see, the sound that you make when you're trying to juggle things, you hand somebody a few balls, a couple apples, a chainsaw even, you say, toss that in the air, and that's the sound they'll make, because they don't know how to handle it. They go, and that's how I feel, all right? Now, don't get me wrong. I knew how to handle all the balls in the air. Pause. I had a grip on the podcast, and I was ready to do it, but it's one of those things where, because I care about this so much, and because I want to come in here and and have fun with you guys each and every week, that I was trying to get the energy I had all the time, dude. And I was trying to just really rev myself up. And I know we see each other every week. It's not like it's been a long time and I got to really show out, okay? But that's just how I like to walk into anything, with friends, with family, with my mailman that I see every day. And I go, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see my people every time that I get to see my people. So I was doing all that I could to come on here, But instead, in my preparation and trying to do this, and I don't mean to keep on outlining all my flaws and failures, but it's important for one, myself, to look back and go, what did I crack the code on? The answer is nothing so far. So Tristan, if you're still hunting for the answer, fast forward. This isn't the one. But two, for anyone else that might struggle with this sort of, how do I compartmentalize and find the productivity? In other words, that mean do the things that you said you were going to do, Jack. And I don't know what that is, but eventually I will come on here and say, hey, I figured it out. You just had to do it, all right? But I didn't. So I'm laying in bed for hours. I'm like, we gotta do this show. What do I do here? What's the trick? All right, I've tried all the things. And, I circled back to a staple, all right, in my diet. And by that, I just mean my diet. I circled back to food. I stapled back, okay? Stapled back, man, because I keep that food on me. Big back? No, stapled back. Guys, I am just addicted, attached, and evidently permanently, yes, other words that mean in love with the food. Guys, I didn't want to, okay, but I was thinking, carbs, glycogen, energy, fuel storage. I'm going to eat, right? Then that will give me the energy to right? And then I can focus on all the things in the air. But one, I went back to DoorDash, which I swore off, okay, but like an old flame, I went, please, maybe you aren't the girl that I thought you were. Maybe that there is something here for us. Maybe forgiveness can be defined in compromise, and we can find something that we once had before. No! I was betrayed again. I ordered it. It took like 3 or 4 hours to show up, and by the time it did, it was already late. The night had passed. And then instead of eating a few bites and just riding that sort of bell curve of energy, like right up here is, let's get into it. And that's like a normal amount of food that you should be eating. I go, oh, no. And I overindulged, okay, and I found overnourishment, and I was out of bounds, and I was out of line, and I passed out. I fell asleep. I had eaten so much food. And then I woke up in a panic. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's late. I got to do the freaking show. And right before, whatever piece of me went, just do it, that sort of, just do the thing that you said you were going to do. And I almost cracked the code right there in that moment. I went, you just do it. You just do things. I looked to my left and I found a plate of fries that I had yet to finish. And they went, no, we gotta do the show. And I went, what the freaking? And I looked back and the plate of fries was gone. I'd eaten it somewhere in the blink of an eye. And that's a problem. That's something that I gotta figure out, okay? I was some sort of sleep eating. I don't remember it happening. I just sort of woke up and, yes, okay? Had a lot of food, and maybe circle back to my childhood where we got into a lot of fights growing up because people would call different snacks and treats. We were always just little candy gremlins and looking for sugar. But we would call, oh, I want the last Pop-Tart, that's mine. And then my brothers would wake up and they'd go, where is it? I'd go, I don't know. And I don't think I ate them. But, judging by recent events and patterns that I'm noticing as an adult, I think I've just always been snacking in my sleep. I'm just a hungry boy through and through, to the bone, 24/7, 300 million days a week. So anyways, all that to say is that, you know what? Carbs are up, glycogen's up, and I'm feeling, yeah, kind of. But we're still at that sort of, we gotta do it, okay? Because again, it's one of those things, middle of the night / the morning, and we gotta lock in. We really do. So I popped out of bed and I took an energy drink and a cold shower, and hopefully we're just gonna, okay, which is what I should have done in the first place. And will I learn my lesson? Probably not, because it's just enough time for me to forget what didn't work, okay? And I just keep circling back to the staple back. So anyways, guys, what's going on outside of these is, man, I've been watching a lot of the podcast clips, actually, sending them around and just sort of reminiscing, and you watch yourself and you go, you sweet boy, you'll never crack the code. I know. And more than that is there's a weird, like, I genuinely get called arrogant and egotistical a lot tonight. That's partly my fault because I do a lot of those jokes, but I think I do have a genuine, like, just self-love and self-fondness for myself, and it's almost like out of body. I watch these little clips of me, whether it's from 4 years ago or 4 weeks ago, and I see myself goofing around, and there's just so much. I'm happy for him, like it's a brother or a friend or a ghost. Ooh. And I go, look at that happy little ghost. But just telling the stories and having so much fun and eating so much food, and it gives me so much joy, man. It gives me so much joy, and he's just happy to be out in the world, and and you just want to see him thrive. And then I go, wait a minute, you're me. We're awesome. Yeah. And that's how I need to start getting hyped up for the show, I think, is just by loving myself to the point of oblivion. Then I go, everybody needs to hear what I have to say. And we'll see if that works. But maybe we might be dipping too far into the ego territory. But you know what? I can't help it. I can't help the things that I help. So I think more than that is that I realized two things really by watching all that, is that I can never stop doing this show. I just have so much fun. It is so fulfilling. I'm glad that anybody appreciates it or connects to it or just has, gets anything out of it, really. I'm having a blast. I'm having a ball, and it's always just so wonderful to see that anyone else, feels that way as well. And that two, when I say two things, I always mean four. So the third being, dang, he ages well, and four, you gotta lose weight. Okay, I'm about 40 pounds. Okay, overweight. Let's not even try and beat around the bush or say something else. You can try and soften the blow. You're just overnourished. You're just you're just so much nutrition. Okay, and don't get me wrong. I'm a big analogy guy. I love trying to get as creatively as possible from one sentence to the other, and that's just verbal parkour to me. But I think sometimes it's just a straight line to go. Is the easiest way to go. Hey, stop it. But we'll see. Not that there's anything, like being fat, being overweight, being out of shape. Look, there's all shapes. There's all different shapes and sizes. Okay, and that's just geometry. Sometimes you're a circle or a triangle or a sphere, or another shape that I can't think of right now because all I can see is chicken tenders. I'm trying to find Pythagorean theorems and lines and vectors, and all I see is chicken. But you know what? Sometimes you see all those different things, and you could be all those things, but in the middle of all that, you fat. So I got to figure that out. But the thing is, man, is that you can. They say you can't outwork a diet, but you can. You actually really can. And I think I can outwork a bad diet, and I have in the past, and I will in the future. But more than clean up the diet, which I don't actually care about my weight, but I do need to clean up my eating lifestyle, not for health purposes, but simply for laundry, okay? Because I'm changing my bed sheets like every freaking 4 seconds. And I ask people, I go, how often do you change the bed sheets, okay? Like how many meals, I mean days do you get out of these things? And it's like a week or 10 days or 2 weeks. And I'm like every freaking 2 days or so at this point. I'm like, freaking there's barbecue sauce, trying to scrape it away. And there's nothing you can do. So I gotta lock in just for that sake. Like, hey, you look like you look healthy. You've lost a lot of weight. It's like, thank you. I couldn't keep up with the laundry. And they're like, what? And it's like, don't worry about it. You know it, be a circle, be a chicken tender, whatever you got to be, but don't waste your time doing laundry. That's my inspiration behind health, dude. It's like, I can't keep changing the sheets. So we'll see. I also, here's the thing. I got a lot of comments. One on the YouTube thing recently too. He's like, why are you talking about poop so often? And I don't mean to do that, but to look, it's part of the lifestyle, is that sometimes this is a reflection, the show, of what's going on in my life. So I don't purposely go into each episode and go, how do I fit poop into there? All right. But sometimes I got a lot of poop going on in my life, and especially with all the curtains going on and people were seeing me poop. This is real. All right. This isn't even for joke. This is just all factual. Everything that I say, I mean to the utmost ability of real. And take that with a grain of poop. So I do say all that to say, it's been smelling actually like poop. And I don't mean, it smells bad, it smells like poop. Like, it smells like poop in the air. And I've been hoping that maybe the candles or the several air fresheners or the food that I'm ordering will outweigh it, but I don't know what the situation is. I don't know where it's coming from. It might be from these new windows. Maybe outside it's always smelled like poop and I just didn't know. But now the windows, it's got a little bit of a crack, no pun intended, and it's just sort of seeping through. And I don't know what to do about that, but it smells. Maybe somebody's in the attic. If there's somebody pooping in the attic, let me know. I won't be mad. I'll forgive you. I won't. Hello? Okay, you know what? But we'll catch them eventually. So it's something that I gotta get to the bottom of. No pun intended. And it's disturbing. It's disturbing. It really is. There's nothing worse than smelling somebody else's poop when you live alone. You know what I mean? All right? Hearing any noise, that's freaking. You go, who said that? But did somebody fart? And then you realize you're by yourself and you go, I was scared a minute ago, but now I'm upset. Now I'm bothered. So, I don't know. I gotta crack the code. I gotta figure this out. I don't know how, but it's disturbing. Is a gas leak a sewer? I suppose. Sewer? Hardly know her. We'll see. I gotta clean this air up. Maybe I'll just keep on ordering food. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. If anybody has any ideas on how to find poop, let me know. We're working on it, man. We're working on it. But I will say also, so I saw this online, and I just thought about this while I was taking a shower a minute ago, is that people are having this big debate, speaking of cleaning the poop up, about whether or not you should shower your front or your back. And people go, no, you shower front side, like it's a skateboard. You do it front side, I do it back side. You shower facing, the spout, the spigot, facing the shower, dispenser. What do you call that? The shower head. Or you face it away, and everyone's up in arms. You do this, you do that, you do that. And I didn't realize that a lot of people weren't showering both sides of themselves. So I'm thinking maybe this smell is somebody who's walking away. He's showering just the front side. It seems like a lot of wasted effort to go, all right, we've washed our front, and you're just walking out into the world. And you're, yeah, dude, he smells great when he's coming, but he reeks when he's going, foul front, bile back, whatever it is, all right? One of them's got to smell bad, for sure. You go, oh, wow, he's here. And then he walks away and go, not too bad, So I don't know what the thinking is behind that, but I think it's important to shower both sides, because I'm in there like a rotisserie chicken. I'm just, okay, running myself through a car wash at this point, and I'm just trying to shower the poop away. Dude, you know what would be nice? I would love it if they started coming out with rainbow suds, rainbow shampoo, if it was like the car wash. When you would get the colorful ones, and you go in with your parents, you're like, get the freaking, Mom, come on, get the colorful soap. And that was like the coolest thing ever, and it still kind of is, even if you go as an adult. Not that I wash my car ever, but when you do. And it's so sick. So if I'm going to get soap in my eye, I would rather it be colorful at the least. That'd be awesome. You're washing your hair and you're like, I only clean my front. But you're like at least colorful and you're rainbowed up. So anyways, if anyone wants to put that out into the market and just sort of pitch that, see if anyone's taking. That could be a good idea. So, other than that, man, yeah, it's been a little interesting. I've been mostly waiting a lot. I've been trying to sell some stuff on Marketplace, and you know how people are. Nobody shows up on time, and they go, I'll be there at 10 a.m. And you go, why? Okay. And so then they ask to be there at 10 a.m. And, I wake up at the crack of noon, so I'm already, what time is it? And I'm sitting there waiting. He's like, can I just come at 1 p.m.? I was like, that would be friggin' sick. And then he does. And then he's like, can I get $10 off? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, well, here's the money. And that's, the goal. Some people are brave. And don't get me wrong. I think it's important to have confidence in your negotiations to go, I would like to get a discount on this. Because I do it all the time and it works for me. All right. But no. Okay. If you're late already, I'm not looking to negotiate most of the time regardless, all right? That being said, I do just want the trash away. I'll throw it away for free. It's really just the principle of the thing that if you're going to come to me and you didn't even negotiate it up top, and you're going to come see it and you go, actually, I'd like a little off the top. And you go, and you were late? No, thank you. Skedaddle. And you go, actually, okay, fine, I'll pay full price. And that's how it works. So it's just people, you got to show up on time. I just feel like I've been waiting left and right. My mom had ordered something here to this place, and my FedEx, they won't drop packages. You have to be there to sign. They're like, nah, I don't care how many directions that you said that you're going to leave it at the place or whatever. If you don't sign for it, we're going to take it back. So I sat for like 9 hours. Like, we're going to be there between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. So just sort of lock in and we'll show up when we show up. And I was like, all right. Well, I just sat there and waiting and looking at these new windows, which was nice. And I was like, still smells like poop. But it was me just trying to track these guys down, man. And I was just waiting on people. Tried to sell something for my brother. And the guy was late again. And he's like, hey, could I? I was like, no. All right. We're moving on. I don't have time for a conversation. People want to talk. People want to bring stuff up. I sold a phone. Old phone the other day, and the guy was nice about it. He was at least very complimentary of my hat. He's like, this is a really nice hat, man. It's freaking, I don't know if I've seen it. You got a lot of nice style about you. And he was being, complimentary, but I was like, hey, you are so late. I gots to go. And he's like, this is, like the case that you got on your phone, like that's really nice. You don't really see that sort of style, like the color combination. It's really, really cool to see stuff like that. And so, like, what are you doing today? I went to I was like, what? No, we don't. Look, don't get me wrong. I love fodder. I love getting into a weird conversation. But I think maybe that's what bothers me the most is when I don't have time for it, okay? Because you wasted it. I could have had so many free stories, but you decided to show up late and rob me of them. You robbed me of an awkward interaction. And for that, you get no discount, all right? So, had to lock in. It's just a bit of a misconnection. Speaking of misconnections, I was on a walk the other day, and there was a guy. He was blazing around the pond. and then not in the drug sense, but he was on a jog, and I see the guy, and I throw him a nod on one lap, and I go, you know what, this guy's killing it. A man needs a fist bump. You know what? No, a man needs a high five. He needs a high five for his work. So he comes running around, and I put the hand up, and I see him coming, and he still hasn't put his hand up. And I almost begin to let my hand drift, like I'm about to, cover his face. Like, hey, what do you think you're doing right now? I'm offering you freaking recognition, all right? The pride, the man, yeah! And he didn't put his hand up, and he ran right by. And as he was doing, he went, off. And I heard him sort of mumble to himself. He was so disappointed. He was like, oh, freaking crap. And he just kept on running, but he had to keep his pace up. And then I was laughing, and I was... I guess I should have felt embarrassed. I didn't really, but I felt... maybe I would have if I didn't hear him feel so embarrassed. And it was just a misconnection. You reach out to say, I acknowledge you. I see you. Keep it up, good man. Hey. And so I'm just out there, and everyone's looking at me, and I go, look at the nature. What do you do? There's not a lot of things you do out here. I'm not use the forest. What, that guy? No, I wasn't trying to high five him. I was freaking something else. I was, bless you. So it was embarrassing. But then the guy did come back afterwards, and he's like, hey man, because this is how important high fives are to dude culture, for sure, at all points. He comes back up, finds me in the park. He was already done, loops around to a different area where he wasn't even running to. He goes, hey man, I just want to tell you, I'm so sorry, I missed the high five. Like, dude, you're fine, man. He's like, I saw it too late as I was running by, and then I was like, you're fine, dude. Hey, man, just want to say, you're killing it. Keep running. He's like, thanks, man. And then he trips over. It got more embarrassing for him. I felt bad, but he's like, all right, thanks, man. Yeah, I just want to let you know, I didn't want you to think I was just ignoring you or something. And he trips behind him, and then he knocks his AirPods and his glasses, and they fall and they scatter about. And he goes, anyways, I'm like, hey, you take it easy, man. So, anyways. Glad we got that high five. Glad we were able to connect on that. It's all about getting out there and talking to people. Sometimes you got to talk to anybody and everybody that you can, except my grandma. Guys, quick little segue. You should not be allowed to just invite anybody into any sort of text thread or group message. My grandma, who I very rarely talk to, I keep getting involved in a giant prayer circle sort of text thread. And don't get me wrong, I love a good prayer. But they're just blowing this thing up, and I keep trying to work, and I keep trying to turn off notifications, and they keep popping through. And I just see stuff, pray for Susan's gout. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm just seeing different infections, and you should start showering both sides of your body. And, smells and gross things. And don't get me wrong, I'm praying for Susan's gout, but I don't want to see it all the time either, okay? Sometimes you're having a day, and you're trying to sort of ramp yourself up to do the podcast, and that brings you back down to the low. And I don't think it's fair that I keep trying to leave the thread. Guys, I'm just going to pray for you. Let's just do a freaking group big umbrella prayer for the whole group. But I don't need to see all of it. And they keep starting new ones. And like, is Tristan not here? Add him in. I don't know how to add him in. We'll just start a new one. And they're like, hey, just this is Susan, just checking in to let you know gout's still going strong, and gonna get that checked up. So I've been trying to I don't know, figure that out. It's been a bit of an annoying thing. Oh my gosh, guys, it is late, and by that I do mean early. So anyways, I know I haven't really said much at all, but you know what, that's kind of par for the course, and I'm going to look back on this clip like, hey, you know what? Did he have a time? He sure did. I do want to say real quick about the Cavs. Sad to be a Cleveland fan. I don't remember where I left it off last week, but we're going to get in there, we're going to fight, and we're going to win. We didn't, lost. But it's crazy, dude. Look, I don't want to ever believe in any sort of sports betting. People go, it's rigged, conspiracy, it's the plan, they let the script out. Unfortunately, there is a part of you now with sports betting and players betting on themselves that you go, I mean, Didn't they? You know, like, so there's some things that you look at someone and you go, that was really bad, right? There has to be, you know, when someone plays so bad that you go, there has to be something more, right? Why? And why is it always Cleveland, dude? Cleveland Indians, Guardians. They're freaking our pitcher. We had the best pitcher in the league, best closer ever, right? And he got busted in the postseason for betting on the other team, betting that he was going to give up some, because he's so good, the odds, you know, I bet that I'm going to throw the worst pitch ever. Right? And it is crazy to even catch somebody. It's kind of hilarious and insulting if you're investigated regardless. They go, this is the worst play I've ever seen. It has to be illegal. You're playing so bad. I think it's a crime. And that would suck for some people that, are you sports betting? He's like, no, I just freaking had a bad day, all right? I thought I could carb up, and I went over the bell curve, and now I'm full and fat. But it was pretty embarrassing. And now, because that happened in Cleveland, you can't get that off your head. And so now I see our players, and I see our teams, and they lose horribly, and you go, you betting on yourself? I mean, what's the deal here, all right? Is it all the gout? But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, it is hard. It's tough. And I think the beautiful thing and the worst thing about sports is that there's like a threshold that you can care about, and you can go all in. And don't get me wrong, it makes the wins so much sweeter when you go, I'm fully invested. I'm locked in. I'm standing up. I'm pacing. I'm invested, right? But the problem is being someone like that, when you ride up here, those lows, and there's a lot of them, dude, do they hit so much harder? You go, oh, my family died, you know, like you notice it and you feel it a lot more. So I'm trying to find that balance. There's a sweet spot of being able to just celebrate. If I could find a way to just be a proton. All right. I'm just trying to celebrate. Okay. And I just want to see the wins, and I don't want to feel the negative energy. I just feel like, yeah, well, they lost, whatever, you know, and yeah, well, they're winning. So we'll get back to it. They will, but right now it just feels like a bit of a crime. We're keeping our coach around, and you know, we can argue back and forth on whether that's a good idea or not. It's not. And you know what? I don't want to call for anybody's job regardless, but the coach, he's getting flamed out the wazoo. He's going, well, you know, analytically, we won 2 out of 3 of those. And you go, what? Score bait? And the Browns did this for a while in recent years. They went into a whole big analytics and the logistics of how to play. They're like, well, statistically, this is what we should be doing. Like, this isn't going to work. You can't throw statistics. There's only one, wins and losses. And you know what, when the whole, it's crazy how much, again, people care about sports, and you're flamed and you're heated. You're like, yes, we need a win. He goes, well, analytically, we won that. And you go, we didn't do that, you know? And it's a rough, it was probably it's embarrassing. But he's being made fun of. But I think we should start using that in other areas of life to get out of things. Oh, did you lose really bad? Well, analytically, I think I passed the bar there. Sir, did you have any idea how fast you were going back there? Analytically, I think I was within the speed limit. He says you were going 90 in a school zone. Well, you know what? Someone's got to teach those cocky kids a lesson. Not everyone's going to slow down for you, Timmy. Learn to look both ways. But anyways, I say all that to say, guys, thanks for hanging in. I know it's been a bit, you know what, I'm sleepy and I'm full of chicken at the moment. But analytically, I think I've been on the ball. So happy to be here regardless. I'm happy to have a time with you. I'm going to lock in. And I'm going to lock in. All right. Just in case you thought he was going to say something differently. I wasn't. Analytically, maybe. But if I could leave you with anything, it's that you make sure you always high five your people. Don't eat up. Don't eat up, dude. All right. And anytime you ask yourself, should I eat up? Don't eat up. Okay, don't eat up, don't eat out. You can't carb up. If you either got the energy or you don't, and there's nothing you can do to sort of fix that. And to my brothers who accused me of eating all their toaster strudels and Pop-Tarts and favorite snacks growing up, and I kept claiming that I didn't. I was sleeping in the other room. I think I was wrong. I think I ate all of those. Shower both sides, analytically and even just, you know, realistically, and let's all pray for Susan's gout, I guess. And if that's if that's not something to leave on, then I don't really know what is. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have to. You know what? Yeah. Next time you see me, I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to be ripped, okay? I'm just going to come on here and just be sliced to the gills. Haters will say it's AI. Yeah, we AI'd fat guy. What? Hey. So anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you in the next episode. And I'm going to get ahead of the ball. I mean, talk is cheap. Been saying that for about 9 years. So I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to go to bed again.